Good evening. Happy Wednesday to you. This is your girl, Dr. O. I am going to give you a few minutes to join. We're not going to be on here long, but we did want to yet jump on here. So come on in, share this out, invite someone, and then we will go from there. So super excited to be here. Hope you've had a great day. We know this is Wednesday, referred to some as Hump Day. Again, this is Community Conversations with Dr. O. So we wanted to just come on just a few minutes. We know that there is yet so much that is going on in our community. So a few things that I want to highlight. We know that Greater Powerhouse and several volunteers was giving out water on today. We want to thank all of the volunteers. We want to thank everyone that has played a part in distributing water to our community. Even that our water is back on, that opportunity was out today, where I think it started at 4 p.m. So we want to just thank those that are out there volunteering. I saw several people that was out there. I saw Bishop Carter and his son, and Pastor Superintendent Smith and his congregation, and just so many other people. So we just want to say thank you. So again, this is Community Conversations with Dr. Onika. And so again, we want to thank all those that has volunteered, whether today or any other day. We want to thank them for distributing out the water to the citizens of Helena and West Helena. We know that even in Phillips County, there is some water issues out in Lakeview, and there was water distributed, or a pallet or pallets of water taken out to Lakeview. And so we just want to say thank you. Thank you so much, Pastor Anderson, for joining. Thank you, Dr. Smalls, for joining. Share this out. This is Community Conversations with Dr. Onika. And we want to talk about ways that we can make our community better, ways that we can contribute to make other communities better. This is a conversation for us to have a dialogue. This is not a platform to, highlight just negative things, but also positive things, and not negative because we want to call out people and point fingers and blame people. We want to have a platform where, one, people are informed, two, where we can have a voice, as a community. We want to fill in the gap between our city and our citizens, and so we all can play a part, as we said in on our last show. So again, super excited to be here. We're not going to be on here long because we don't have much to discuss today. But one thing we do want to bring to the forefront, we know that our youth are getting ready to start back school here shortly. Good evening, Sister Shields. Thank you so much for joining. We know that our children are getting ready to start back to school. I think West Memphis, Arkansas started on today. And we're not just talking about our students here in Helena, West Helena, or Phillips County, but we're talking about our young people worldwide. We know that we have a big issue with fentanyl. Some of everywhere. It's not just in Helena, West Helena. It's not just it's not just impacting our schools here. So we want to have special prayers that goes forward for our children, so that when they go to school, one, that they will not be introduced to things that will be harmful, that will that could cause death and all those other things. But we want to ensure that our children come back home safe. We've had mass shootings at school, so we want our children to be aware. We want our children to be aware. We want our children to be aware, because sometimes our younger kids, people will try to give them things, whether it's sweets or candy or stuff that appear that they would like, that will later on cause them harm. So we want to have some form for awareness for our children, and hopefully there will be different things going on in the school that will bring awareness to fentanyl and substances, powder substances that we know that, as we're being told, that even if you touch it, it can cause you harm. If you touch it, it can kill you. So we want to make sure that our children are aware. They are aware. They are aware. And we know that we don't hear much about not talking to strangers, because sometimes initial strangers can be some of our closest friends. But we do want to be aware. We want our children to be aware of information that they may be sharing. We want our children to be aware of who they become trusting to, because sometimes kids and grown people can be too trusting in individuals, and therefore share information that can cause harm later down the road. The second thing I want to talk about, we know that there's still a lot of cleanup going on across our city. We know that there's been a lot of demolitions. There's been a lot of construction that has came down, and now we are seeing some cleanup of that. I've seen where they're in the Harlem, and they have done work on Porter Street, and there's been work on, I believe, Walnut Street, just different places throughout our city. And we are beginning to see some of the cleanup efforts to pick up some of those debris and things that's going on in the city. So we do want to say thank you. What we do want to do. Now, this is something that can involve each of us, because this is a thing that has been brought to my attention, as well as from observation, where I see that sometimes there are social media clashes because we're taking sides. We want to make sure that we are addressing the issues and not pointing fingers at the people. How is it that we have a problem? What is it that we're doing to bring a solution? How is it that we can fix it as a community? Because at the end of the day, we all live here. We all live here. We're all impacted. We're all impacted by the water situation. We're all impacted by the blight. It doesn't matter if it's in your neighborhood. It doesn't matter if it's down your street. It's an impact as a community overall. It's an impact as a community overall. When you have family and visitors, and you are proud or want to be proud of a place that you stay, it can be embarrassing when it's not up to par. So it's not just a one-sided thing, and it's not one person's responsibility. We know that there are those that are in authority. We know those that actually do the work. We know those that hire for the work. There's an array of things that have to happen to make it happen. But we want to make sure that we are supporting the efforts that are being done, and that we are not having these social media clashes where we're doing too much on one side or the other, or, where we start out, where it is a good thing, and then we find ourselves having to defend one person or another for work that is being done, because there is a very, very visible line of clashes between and it can look racist at times. It can look racist at times because it seems like it's a black-white thing or a white-black thing, and we just have to be able to work together if this community is ever going to grow. If we are going to keep the people that we have, if we're going to attract new people, if we're going to attract new businesses, there are things that we're going to have to do, and we all can contribute. And sometimes it's just having a positive word to say. Negative words, they spread like wildfires. Positive words, they are so much harder to get them out. They're so much harder to share because we're so negative about everything. We have a problem about everything. We don't agree on nothing, and we can't, a lot of times we don't contribute nothing but negativity. So in order for us to grow as a community, we have to be willing to, contribute positivity, be patient, and give an individual time to at least try. So we want to build up our community. So we know that there is a lot of work that is being done, and there's a lot of more work that needs to be done. But there's only 24 hours in a day. Nobody's working around the clock. We know we only have 1,440 minutes in a day. Everything is not going to be done in a day, because one thing about it, everything did not happen in a day. It didn't all happen overnight. So it's not going to be completed overnight. And we know that some things calls for finances. Some things calls for teams and plans. And so we need to have plans in place that can be executed, where we are able to see the improvements and we're able to see the growth within our community. And so I'm super excited about some of the work that I'm seeing. And I'm looking forward to the future. What does the future hold? And some days it doesn't look too promising, but whatever we seek, we will find. Whatever we seek, we will find. If we seek flaws, if we seek negativity, if we seek that there will be no improvements, guess what? That's what we'll see. We will find exactly what we're looking for, because there's always an equal opposite to everything. But just as much bad as there seem to be in the city of Helena, West Helena, there is some good. I said that on last week. Everything is not bad about our city. We have good people. We have some caring people in our city. Now, on the flip side, you have bad people, and you have some people that don't care about nothing in our city. So if we're going to grow, and if we're going to work together, and if we're going to improve, and if we're going to be proud of Phillips County and the city of Helena, West Helena, where we are not always being captured in negative news from crimes and things happening and water issues and all these things that are contributing to what seems like a bad place to be. If we're going to turn those things around, it's going to first start with us believing that they can be turned around. If we don't believe they can be turned around, and if we don't think that they can be turned around, there will be no efforts put in place. There will be no plans put in place. There will be no execution in place that would actually make that happen. So since you all are quiet tonight, again, I knew we wasn't going to be on here long tonight. If you have something that you want to share, you can inbox me. You can send it to me here on social media. We would address it on next week. But we're going to be here every Wednesday at 8:30. Every Wednesday at 8:30. I really don't have to give a week in advance. I've already told you we're going to be here every Wednesday at 8:30. Whether we have a little to share or a lot to share, I will be consistent and show up here at 8:30. Share this out. If you want to hear something different, if you think that there are things that need to be addressed that is not addressed, if there are things that are happening, that you want to talk about, send them to me. You can send them anonymously. You can send them to me, and we can go from there. We know that there are a lot of things that are going on, and I'm getting ready to close out, but you find a lot of times trying to find out what happened. We know there was something going on last night on 49. Something allegedly was going on today on Cherry Street. Something going on here and something going on there. But one thing that we can all do is pray that our city get better, and it can get better with us working together, believing that it'll get better, and doing what we can to contribute to make it better. You have been tuned in to Community Conversations with Dr. O, and we will be right back here next Wednesday at 8:30. Talk to you later.